Hey guys, I'm here. Last night I went and saw Scream 6, and I'm going to give you guys my quick spoiler-free thoughts on the film. I really enjoyed this one. I thought it was a lot better than the last. Not that the last one was bad or anything like that. I did enjoy it for the most part. It just wasn't my favorite. It wasn't my least favorite. There were some things that did interestingly well enough, and some things that I didn't think they handled all that great. Overall, this one takes everything that works from that and amps it up. While the Meeks crew, well, I really was endeared to because I love that family. I love that dynamic. I love that shtick and the role that they play into these films. I think both Mindy and Chad did a fantastic job at kind of coming over here. Again, Jasmin Savoy Brown and Mason Gooding both reprising their roles in this. I think they were standouts in the last film, and I really love what they did this. Obviously, Jenna Ortega was fantastic in the first one, though she was very much not the focus. She definitely shares center stage in this one with Melissa Barrera, who I think in this one, where I wasn't too in love with what they were doing with her performance in that first film, as she was introduced to us in, she is one of the most fascinating elements of this one. I love what they've done with this character. I love what they've done with these sisters. I've loved what they've done with this core group that they've brought together and carried over from the survivors of the last film, and how the last film really kind of plays a hand in how this film establishes its tone. There's a conspiracy element to this one that I won't go into that adds to just the real world tension and just the way that social media and the news and everything kind of operates, and that can kind of really take a toll on people in a lot of ways that I really like how they've spun this into the narrative. You know, Courteney Cox comes in with a commanding, resounding presence. Hayden Panettiere is a welcomed return. So glad they brought her back. But as far as new cast, we got a bunch of new flavors going down here. A lot of suspects, a lot of potential bodies. There's plenty of people to round out the who's going to survive and who's not kind of idea of this, while it continues to commentate on the franchising of these serial slasher horror films. Yeah, there's a plenty of people that they've added in this, so if it looks like I'm reading off a list, it's because I am. But they've added Jack Champion, Henry Czerny, Liana Liberato, Dermot Mulroney, Devyn Nekoda, Tony Revolori, Segarra, which I'm glad we're seeing more of this guy. Going back, the first thing I ever saw him in was Arrow, and he was a brilliant villain in that show, man, and I'm love that he's getting more attention. And then, of course, Samara Weaving. And obviously, the man, the myth, the legend himself, the voice of Ghostface, Roger L. Jackson. What will we do when this guy is no longer available for these movies? Because I feel like this is one of those franchises that's just going to keep going and evolving while film itself evolves. So, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what the longevity is for this series at the end of the day. How long can we actually go before they actually reboot the series? That's what I'm wondering. I really love what they've done with this, how they've escalated it. This one, I think more so than the last one, has this reverence for the franchise as a whole. And it really does play back into all of these elements that have kind of been building upon themselves throughout the entire franchise. I think this is in my top 3 Scream films. I think, you know, 2 is still my favorite. 1 followed right after that. But then I think it's Scream 6, Scream 4, 5, 3 for me. I think that is the order. Hell, they even throw some love and compliments to Scream 3 in this one, man. Again, I won't say how. There's plenty of Easter eggs littered throughout this thing. It definitely owns into this meta commentary that this franchise is very much known for, so it doesn't ever feel like nostalgia baity or anything like that. It does handle everything with kind of this like reverence and respect. As we've seen that, like, obviously in the trailers, like this whoever this killer is, they seemingly worship the killers that came before them in some way. That plays into the story. This is Ghostface is willing to do things that we haven't seen before, and I think it really loves to play with that. And it just really sells the stakes of the film, especially with the themes that they're carrying forward with the commentary that they've chosen to hone in on. There are the clues and hints as to who the killer could be set up real early if you kind of pay attention. it's still not enough to get the full picture by the end of the movie, and I found myself quite surprised. However, once the reveal kind of happens, and this is kind of the case with a lot of them, it does go very cartoony. The whole reveal situation is very Looney Tunes a little bit, but that's kind of par for the course, though I do think this verges on being one of the most cartoony versions of this. However, the third act, once it gets going, once we're past the reveal, I think it's got one of the most satisfying conclusions to a Scream movie that we have seen. It was different, it was wild, and it was chef's kiss, man. Sure, it has its hokey elements to it that comes with being part of the Scream franchise. The whole meta angle of it always kind of brings that levity and kind of like discordant balance to what typically is a normal slasher story. That's still present here, but I found it so fun and refreshing at every turn. But yeah, I think this one more than the last one has me really excited to see where they go with this, because I did see that they've already started writing Scream 7, which has already been greenlit, and what they've been playing with, this one more than the last has me intrigued to see where they go with these new set of characters. And I like that they've paid their homage to the legacy, and I know a lot of people are kind of concerned about the whole Neve Campbell drama going on behind the scenes. I think they made the right choice with what they decided to do in this, and I think we're in decent hands moving forward. So I'm excited to see where this franchise now goes. But guys, have you seen it? What did you think? Let me know. Sound off the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and let me know if you enjoyed this video. I was gonna say reaction. If you enjoyed this review, please leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe if you're not already. And before we go, I want to shout out our channel legends: Manny Scher, Ryan Karen, Jason Coleman, Philly Vane, York, Corey Scott, Margaret Grace, Melito, Robert Aguiano, Raven McGann, Jeffrey Hale, M. Sephiroth, Jake Cantrell, Josh Lee, and Aaron Myers. Thank you guys so much for continued support. But guys, let me know, what's your favorite scary movie? Take care, everybody.